Global resources of ABC News with Terry Moran, Martin Bashir, and Cynthia McFadden in New York City. This is Nightline, February 12th, 2009.
Celebrities on the whole accept that every now and then they'll be pestered by some adoring fans. But what happens when adoration becomes suffocation, when a fan becomes a stalker? Nowhere is this more likely to occur than in Los Angeles, a city full of shining stars. But police are fighting back, and tonight we take you inside the city's elite stalker unit, as Lisa Fletcher now reports.
A-list celebrities. See them on the red carpet, posing for the cameras, and their adoring fans. But for some celebrities, they've had to pay the price of living in the spotlight when certain fans become obsessed and begin to stalk.
There's a fine line between fan and fanatic.
Jennifer Garner just got a permanent restraining order against a man who blogs about human sacrifice. She says he has terrorized her for years.
What do you want to accomplish today?
Uma Thurman described her stalker as a nightmare. He'd show up at her home and turned up outside her trailer while she was filming a movie in Manhattan.
They will keep on turning, proud Mary.
And then there's this American Idol contestant, obsessed with Paula Abdul for years. She killed herself in front of the singer's home.
Good morning, Threat Management Unit. Detective Dunn, can I help you?
Detective Jeff Dunn is working the Abdul case and many others. He heads up the Threat Management Unit, dubbed the Stalker Unit. His beat, Los Angeles, ground zero for celebrity stalking.
He would send greeting cards to her.
Dunn gave us unprecedented access to some of his cases related to the world's biggest stars.
As far as Britney Spears was concerned, he was completely delusional. He was convinced that she loved him.
Womanizer singer Britney Spears was forced to deal with a stalking situation of her own. Masahiko Shizawa.
What we had was a Japanese businessman, came to America on a tourist visa for the sole purpose of following Britney Spears around the country on a concert tour.
He believes Shizawa used the internet to not only track Spears' concert schedule, but her life from Louisiana to Los Angeles, and sent the pictures and postcards to prove it.
Here's a picture of her limousine as she's leaving one of the concert venues. And on the back of the photograph, he says, "I'm chasing you." You know, she doesn't know who this person is.
That would get anybody's attention.
Absolutely.
Advised by the LAPD stalking unit of the potential danger, Spears got a restraining order. It has since expired.
The psychology of stalkers tends to be very primitive.
Dr. Reed Malloy is widely regarded as one of the nation's experts on stalkers, particularly those who threaten celebrities. He says stalking behavior may be fueled by our no-holds-barred culture, obsessed with all things celebrity.
Is there something about these celebrity magazines and the personal photos that they contain that sort of drives the behavior of the stalkers?
The more the magazines humanize the celebrity figure, the more it can reduce that space between the stalker and the celebrity figure.
And as the buffer decreases, the cost of fame goes up.
I was never sure if Rebecca even knew that I was, stalking her.
In the late 1980s, Rebecca Schaeffer was a rising star, with a lead role on the hit TV show My Sister Sam.
Brandon is intelligent and sensitive and artistic.
She was murdered by an obsessed fan by the name of Robert Bardo.
I just felt like my obsession would do more and more. And I kept trying to contact her, and there was no response. I couldn't understand that.
Back in those days, there were no stalking laws in California, or anywhere else for that matter.
I didn't even know if she would be. I said, no, pull it in, shoot.
Schaeffer's brutal death, gunned down at her front door, was the wake-up call.
She had to be a victim of a homicide in order for us to get the message that something needs to be done in the way of legislation to address stalking crimes.
Laws passed, and LAPD's Stalker Unit was born. And sometimes, at least here in Hollywood, life imitates art.
Hello?
I watched you today.
What?
TV and film star
You look
Morgan
beautiful.
Fairchild once played the role of a stalking victim in the movie The Seduction. In real life, she says she's had many stalkers and has come to rely on the LAPD Stalker Unit.
If you're in the public eye and that's the business you've chosen, then you will always have to face the probability that not everyone is going to be happy with you or like you, and that people may have some kind of grudge, real or imagined, against you.
One female fan began writing innocent postings on Fairchild's website. That turned into cards, gifts, and handwritten letters the LAPD says escalated their level of concern.
I'm going to show up on your doorstep, I'm going to fly across the country, oh, you promised me that you were going to pay all our bills, and you haven't done it, and now I'm angry. And I was like, so it was getting kind of threatening.
The obsessed woman believed Fairchild was her mother.
You know, these are addressed to your home address.
Mm-hmm. How happy do you think that makes me?
However threatening they may be, police say stalkers are also unpredictable. This obsessed fan sent this X-rated video to a prominent recording artist.
What do I have to do to get next to you, girl?
And in the case of Brad Pitt, this woman broke into his home, fed his dogs, and slept in his pajamas.
Are these people that appear normal in their daily lives and then they go home and they're obsessing over these celebrities?
Typically not. Typically their lives are bereft of any normal satisfactions. Oftentimes they're living alone. They've typically had very unstable work histories and have not done well, and oftentimes that's because of the psychiatric disorder. But paradoxically, they tend to be brighter than average.
One stalker, considered to be extremely dangerous by both Malloy and the LAPD, Jonathan Norman, who stalked Steven Spielberg. He even had a shopping list.
3 eye masks, 3 cuffs, 4 pair of nipple clippers. Again, you see both the level of aggression as well as the level of sexual aggression that Norman thought about.
Because of his prior criminal convictions, Jonathan Norman was sentenced to 25 years to life for the Steven Spielberg case.
You know, a lot of the celebs that are stalked aren't necessarily overtly threatened, but it's still terrifying for them.
Correct. But people do not understand that just the event of stalking will lead to various states that can move to the level of a psychiatric disorder in celebrities.
Case in point, Madonna, who said she suffered nightmares after being stalked by Robert Hoskins. Hoskins scaled the security walls of her estate, tried to get to the singer, whom he believed was his wife, and was ultimately shot by her bodyguard.
The thing that makes Hoskins so dangerous is he's focused on Madonna as a spirit, and he believes that the Madonna spirit can inhabit anyone at any given time. So if Robert Hoskins was walking the street today and he decided that you or I were Madonna at that point in time, we would be at great risk.
With the help of the LAPD stalking unit, Morgan Fairchild recently broke free of her obsessed fan.
Especially this day and age with all the technology that's readily available to any weirdo on the street, you do get a little concerned about your safety, about your security.
They don't know who this person is, so you can't blame them for being frightened. And that's where we come in. Part of our job is managing that fear in addition to managing the case.
Dunn's unit already has its hands full, dealing with 20 celebrity stalking cases right now. And in our celebrity-obsessed culture, there seems to be no end in sight. This is Lisa Fletcher for Nightline in Los Angeles.
The dark side of celebrity culture. Our thanks to Lisa Fletcher. When we come back, love is in the air. So says this international super couple.